Hello everyone, welcome to the channel of Algocamp. So now on this particular channel, we are actually releasing a series on data structures and algorithms where we are going to talk about some of the most important data structures and algorithmic topics which are extremely important for your upcoming software engineering interviews. Apart from that, these are some of the I would say topics that are very helpful in your day-to-day engineering job as well. We have already released a couple of series around searching, right? And we got a really good response on that. And from here, we are going to put really some awesome content around DSA. In most of these lectures, we will try to ensure that we focus on the intuition building aspect of the things, that how you are able to think about something, what are some of the things that people actually neglect but are going to clear some of the really important fundamentals. We are going to see coding implementation, but trust me, my focus is not going to be on the language delivery aspect of the things, that okay, you have to code this in C++ or Java. A lot of problems we have coded in multiple languages. Maybe some of the problems will be in C++, some will be only in JavaScript. I believe if you are somebody who is preparing for an interview, language in 2025 should not be a constraint, because most of the people can actually use ChatGPT to do language conversions. So my motive here is to make sure that you understand the concept in depth. You actually see how exactly somebody might have thought about the problem when they were carving out the problem, what can be some initial thought process, how you can actually drive yourself towards the solution. I believe these are going to be some really important videos that will be really helpful for your upcoming career. So do let us know what is your feedback. We are going to release a lot of more topics. Do let us know what all topics you want to have first, right? And the feedback is going to be important. Also, in case you are actually thinking to level up, you want to learn things with respect to low-level design, high-level design, overall system design for interviews, or you are somebody who wants to do project development in Spring Boot, you want to learn advanced Spring Boot concepts, or let's say advanced Node.js concepts, then we have a lot of courses, live courses running on algocamp.io. So you can check out the website courses.algocamp.io/learn, and there are a lot of courses that are actually listed. A lot of great discounts are actually going on all the courses as well. Do check them out. For each and every single course, we are going to add you to a dedicated Discord community where you can get your doubts resolved as well. All of the courses, we have made sure that we talk about things from the very beginner to the very advanced level that is going to help you level up in your career as a software engineer. So that being said, let's start the video without any further delay. So this is a new problem in front of us. The problem says that consider a board of size 2 cross n. Okay. So the number of rows in the board is always going to be 2. See the whatever examples you have. If you carefully see, then always you have a 2 rows board maximum. Okay. And n columns. Okay. And tiles of size 2 cross 1. So you have a 2 cross 1 size tile. You have to count the number of ways in which tiling of this board is possible. So you have to tile the board. In how many ways you can tile the board? You can place the tile vertically or horizontally. Okay. Now you can place the tile like this also, and you can place the tile like this also. So let's see. If n is equals to 4, then you can either arrange all of the 4 bricks like this, right? Because you are 2 width or 2 row wide and 1 column long. So this can be one possible way. The other way can be, if let's say this was the 2 cross 1 tile, right? Or let's make it like this. If I write a 2 cross 1 tile, technically 2 cross 1 tile is like this. Okay. If you rotate it, this will become something like this, right? So if you rotate it, then it will just take one row here, then one row here, one row here. Can I say that? This can be another possibility. Another possibility can be you just place these 2 tiles horizontally and the other 2 tiles vertically, right? Just think about it. This is 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is 1, 1, 2, 2. So before we start this particular video, I wanted to actually talk about a very small thing. So this video is going to actually help you understand a real system design interview scenario. We are going to try to mimic a 45 to 60 minute kind of like a round where we are going to solve a problem very similar to how you will solve a similar system design problem in this short time frame. Now, of course, when you work as a software engineer in a company, you have relatively larger amount of time and you can do a lot of more deep dives in even very small level features. But in an interview, the temperament is different, the approach is different. And a similar scenario is actually explained in this particular video. So do consume the content based on that. Also, if you want to see more deep dives and want to understand these topics in a much more deeper level concepts, then do check out the link in the description section below for our system design 2.0 cohort, where we have talked about a lot more concepts in a lot more detail, which will make you definitely a better software engineer. So let's just start the video. This is 112 and then this is 112. Can I say that? This is 2 row wide. So there will be total 3 possible ways. If I consider n is equals to 3, then there are only 2 possible ways. Either you arrange all of them like this, where this is 2 row wide and 1 column wide, or this is 1 row wide, 2 column wide and 1 2, something like this. If you have n is equals to 5, then there are total 5 possibilities. These are the total 5 possibilities that you have. Okay, so technically speaking, you can consider that you have infinite supply of tiles. You have infinite supply of tiles and you just need to make sure that you somehow fill the 2 cross n board. You don't need to care about you're using a lot of tiles or you're not using a lot of tiles. You have infinite supply of tiles. You just need to count in how many total possible ways you can fill this 2 cross n board. This is the agenda in front of you. So how can we solve this question? The question is relatively very simple. If you consider the fact that there are always going to be 2 rows and n columns, right? 2 rows and n columns, okay? Cool. Now, what are the different possibilities? What are the different possibilities? One possibility is that you have a 2 cross 1 tile, right? So the tiles look something like this. This is your 2 cross 1 tile. One possibility is that, now I don't know in how many ways you can fill all the n columns, right? But I know that this one tile can just directly fit here. If I just copy this tile and put it here, sorry. So this one tile can just directly fit here in the corresponding last column, right? This can be one possible way, right? This can be one possible way. So if you fit this tile directly in the last column, then you are left with what? N minus 1 columns. So whatever is your logic for n minus 1 columns, that is, in total number of ways you can fill the n minus 1 columns. In front of all of those ways, you are going to fit this tile in the nth column. So if I write a function f of n that calculates the number of ways in which you can fill the n columns, because rows are static, right? 2. So the number of ways in which you can fill n columns, one possibility is going to come from the n minus 1 columns, where you fill the tile directly in the last column. Can I say that? And you can even rotate the tile. If you rotate the tile, this will become something like this. If you rotate the tile, then what you can do is, you can use this tile to be filled directly in 2 columns, and you can use 2 such tiles. You can use 2 such tiles. Copy, paste. You can technically use 2 such tiles and together you can fill 2 columns. Can I say that? You can fill 2 columns here. Now your last and second last, both columns are filled. You are left with n minus 2 columns. So in total number of ways in which you can fill n minus 2 columns, in front of all of them, you can attach these 2 tiles, right? So can I say this will be plus f of n minus 2? That's it. This is your simple Fibonacci relation that you can build, right? And you can see that here also. If you just fill the last tile directly, then you are left with n minus 1 tiles. If you use 2 columns to fill the last tiles, then you are left with n minus 2 columns, right? And for filling these n minus 1 columns, there are technically 2 ways. So this relation is just going to be directly coming from Fibonacci. All you need to figure out is base cases. I believe figuring out base case is going to be simple. If n is 0, then the answer is 0. If n is 1, then there is only one way that you can just put this tile vertically. These two can be your base cases, right? You can add one more base case, that if n is 2, the answer will be 2. That is, if you just have two columns, then one way is to place both of them column wise. One way is to place both of them row wise. That's it. This is going to be the simple explanation. I don't want to code it. I believe the coding implementation is something that you guys can do yourself. But this was the explanation for the tiling problem.